Previously on Tactical Legends, the Arabian Peninsula stood at the edge of chaos. Rebellions erupted, false prophets rose, and the fragile Muslim state trembled. But through the fire and dust, Khalid Ibn Al-Walid carved a path, crushing Tulayha, subduing tribes, and proving himself the caliphate's most indispensable blade. Now he marched to face the greatest threat of all, Musaylima the liar. The time had come. By December 632 CE, Khalid ibn al-Walid stood outside al-Yamama, where the self-proclaimed prophet Musaylima had fortified himself with a massive army drawn from the Banu Hanifa, a tribe known for its strength, numbers, and defiance. On the broad plain of Aqraba, two great forces gathered. 10,000 to 13,000 Muslim troops, including veteran Muhajirun and Ansar from Medina, faced off against a rebel horde reportedly numbering 40,000 to 50,000. What followed would become one of the bloodiest battles in Arab history. The first clash was brutal. Musaylima's warriors fought with zeal, driven by their prophet's presence on the field. Waves of rebel assaults battered the Muslim ranks. For a moment, even Khalid's forces faltered. Confusion spread and morale teetered on the edge of collapse. But Khalid would not break. In the heart of the chaos, he reorganized the army mid-battle, assigning banners by tribe and city, reigniting loyalty, identity, and unity among the scattered fighters. He rode the lines himself, rallying the men, slaying enemy champions, and reminding them that the fate of Islam rested in their hands. The tide began to turn. Khalid's men launched a second wave, hammering the rebel front with renewed ferocity. Blood soaked the field so thickly that a gully ran red, forever remembered as Shwaib-ud-Dam, the Gully of Blood. Among the fallen were legendary companions, Zayd ibn al-Khattab, Abu Dujana, and Abu Hudayfa. Their martyrdom only deepened the resolve of those who remained. Musaylima's battered forces fell back to a walled garden, desperate to make a final stand. 7,000 rebels barricaded themselves inside. The garden would go down in history as the Garden of Death. For a moment it seemed impassable. Then came the bravery of al-Bara ibn Malik, who begged his comrades to throw him over the wall. Alone he fought and slew the gatekeepers from within, flinging the gates open to a thunderous cry of Allahu Akbar. The Muslims surged in. Amidst the slaughter, Musaylima appeared in the melee, refusing to flee. Then came fate. Washi ibn Harb, once the killer of the Prophet's uncle Hamza, saw Musaylima and hurled his javelin. The same weapon that had ended Hamza's life now struck down Musaylima, avenging the past with poetic justice. Another companion slashed the final blow. The liar was dead. His followers broke. The Muslims showed no quarter. Of the 7,000 rebels inside the Garden of Death, almost none survived. Victory came, but it was a victory soaked in grief, when 200 Muslims were martyred, including dozens of Quran reciters. The scale of the loss shocked Medina. Caliph Abu Bakr, fearing the loss of the Quran itself, began the first compilation of the holy text soon after. But the battle had done what it must. It had shattered the greatest threat to Islam's survival. As one historian wrote, Khalid's triumph at Yamama saved the caliphate. The Arabian Peninsula was now unified. The wars of apostasy had ended, but for Khalid ibn al-Walid, the greatest conquests were still ahead. From the ridges of Arabia to the frontiers of empire, the sword of Allah was just getting started. Join us next time on Tactical Legends as Khalid rides into the lands of Rome and Persia to challenge empires, rewrite history, and become one of the greatest generals the world has ever known. Thank you for watching Tactical Legends. To be continued,